Tomorrow we're supposed to be at 104.
That means the inside of the shipping container gets to about 110 to 120. We need them to stay cool. Gonna take the hot air from inside here and push it out into here. The fan is getting put in and hopefully it works.
We're two hitchhikers. We met while hiking Mount Baldy with mutual friends, wasted no time, got engaged on a frozen alpine lake, got hitched, and have been adventuring together since. We're embarking on a new adventure of living big in a tiny home. Let's see how this goes.
Adventure awaits.
So our plan has shifted a little bit from what we initially had in mind for this chicken hut. That was initially going to stay in one spot, and then we were going to be moving over this electric fence so that they could rotationally graze. But it's been working out better when we actually do move the chicken hut. So now that they're heavier,
They need wheels.
they need wheels. So that's what we're installing now, because today is another day that we do need to go ahead and move them to get them in a new spot of this tiny little pasture area. Or I guess technically it's our little paddock for them. So
Yeah.
this is what we're doing this morning. Need a beat just to hold it up.
Yeah. Pull it up.
I guess. That's it.
Muddy butts.
Because this here. Check that out.
Nice.
So at this point, we're not quite comfortable with leaving the chickens uncontained while we take down the electrical net fencing. So we're putting them all in the chicken hut to make sure that they all stay together before we move the whole thing over.
Back here, I know. You're okay.
Keep in mind at this point, the birds are about 5 pounds on average each, so we're looking at just shy of 200 pounds extra weight in this chicken hut.
So we are installing an exhaust fan inside the chicken house.
Coop. That's
Coop.
the coop. This is the run.
All right, whatever.
Coop. With the fan right now.
Exactly. Now, mind you, this is overkill for most people. Mind you, we're starting off with these 6, but our plan is to move up with more chickens, and when it gets really hot, we need them to stay cool. So the fan is getting put in and hopefully it works.
Now this is an exhaust fan that is going to have the thermostat attached to it, right? So when
Yes.
it's a certain temperature, it's going to kick on and let that hot air out.
Out. Yeah, so it's going to take the hot air from inside here and push it out into here. So it's not going to be exhausting out to the outside, because if we get a wind or if anything tries to crawl up and through the vent, I don't want that. So it's going to be right there.
It's okay.
Then it's cool. It's so much quieter. It's 84. Pretty quiet.
Unfortunately, fires have been an almost regular occurrence around here. However, the great part is that emergency response has been extremely fast. All right, everybody, we are in the shipping container on the other side of the property where Ruben has all of his shop stuff, and it's hot. And normally how we deal with the heat is by keeping the doors cracked on the front, but it doesn't really allow for proper ventilation. And we're 3 digits already, we're triple digits. Tomorrow we're supposed to be at 104.
That means the inside of the shipping container gets to about 110 to 120.
And as you can see, we've got
Got
some
wonderful aerosol and acids and all this wonderful stuff that should not be reaching 125 degrees. So we're gonna cut a hole. Hooray!
Yeah, this made a huge difference.
It already feels totally different. So that outlet is connected to the light switch, and that's what I was planning on using. But that means the light switch would have to be on all the time for this to do its job. But in past Ruben's brain, he was like, hey dummy, you're gonna need power. So I actually have a power outlet in the back that I completely forgot about. Yay! And it's already working. Hello. Here you go. So it's set to 90 or 85, and that's just gonna move there. We'll cut this out from the foam once it cures.
Oh no! Your rods are in here, love.
Ah, fantastic.
Here.
The best. The best.
Whoa. Okay. We got this. We got this.
All right, so a lesson has been learned about very old foam spray. It runs like water, and unfortunately it went all over my fishing gear and tackle. So
And you.
and me, yeah, a little bit, but thankfully it is working, and it has dramatically dropped the temperature in here to the point where I could actually stand here and talk. Before it was bad, but now it's better.
Okay, so we just got out of end of day shower and noticed cows walking down our road. So the cows have escaped onto our driveway, and we're trying to cut them off before they get onto the main road.
We're worried about two things in this situation. This bull breaking out of his paddock right here, and then all of the cattle actually getting out onto the main road here.
All right, I am backing the truck up because some kind people stopped on the road, backed them back into our dirt road. These are not even our cattle. And Ruben was able to get around behind them, but they're a bit scared of the sound of the Forerunner. So I'm backing this up and cutting them off there at the back. Ruben is going to drive up with them. These are one of our neighbor's cattle. We're not sure. We're trying to figure that out. But there's some in there too.
Yeah.
Goodness, a whole lot of them.
Yeah, we gotta close this gate.
And you don't even have your boots on. Look at you.
No, not even my boots. There we go.
Here is the breakdown of the cattle drama. We live here. Neighbor A lives here, and they have cattle and are keeping their bulls separated from the heifers for a while. He's been lonely, and a barbed wire fence and electric line won't keep him in if he really wants out. Now neighbor B lives here. They don't have cattle of their own, but they lease part of their land to a rancher who lives about an hour away, over here. Neighbor C lives here. They also have cattle, including a bull or two. We aren't sure if they keep them penned up, and they could definitely charge if excited. Now, we have a shared dirt road and a water source for flood irrigation, which seasonally flows through here. When the water is low, the cows, usually from neighbor B's visiting herd, find their way under the fence in the waterway. Now, for the most part, the county is responsible for the water management and infrastructure maintenance, but in this case, it falls on the leasing rancher. But they're an hour away, here. When all this happened, it was about 8:30 p.m., and most people around here run on ranch time, which means early to bed, early to rise. Which means neighbor A was most likely asleep. And neighbor C is not likely the responsible party. Neighbor B sometimes works late and early shifts. We reached out to them, but knew we had to act fast regardless. If the cows got out onto the main road, they could easily be hit by traffic, which could be terrible on all accounts. Now, is it legally our responsibility? No. But is it our neighborly and moral responsibility? Absolutely. So we did what we could and penned them up over by the shipping containers. Now, we do risk them doing damage to our property, especially the water pump, but lives are more important than property. So we did what we could. Eventually, all of the responsible parties came as soon as possible to patch everything up, and all was okay. Well, family, that wraps up this week's update. We're definitely getting our feet wet with the ranch and animals around here. It's never a dull moment, even out in the sticks. Thanks for following along on our crazy adventure. Check back next week to see what else we tackle. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
But it's not even opening the vent.
Do you want me to check it outside?
Yeah. Oh, it's the tape. I forgot to cut off the tape.
User error.